it'll actually turn on before the person actually rings the doorbell, and you can see who's coming. If you're gone, say you're in Chicago, it will still work. You'll know who is at your door.
It's a new device that local residents are using to protect their homes. But what other things are local homeowners doing to protect themselves and their families? Valley News TV's Melanie Palmer takes a look at an option that a homeowner is turning in order to prevent break-ins.
Dogs, motion sensors, and even guns. Those are just some ways local homeowners are protecting their homes. But there is one device that area residents are flocking to.
There's been a lot of break-ins, in the last year or so. I can't afford a really expensive home security device, but this is a security device on the budget.
Ring doorbell alerts your phone when someone is at the door. You can even see on video who it is and talk to them. Fargo homeowner John Keelan has been using this device for several months now. He was a victim of a break-in in the past.
My storage unit got broken into in June, and we had purchased this house just recently after that. So I wanted to make sure that we had some kind of security.
Keelan isn't the only local homeowner using alternative options. One viewer tells us that he puts bear traps under windows on the first floor of his house. Yep. Professional security devices can be pricey, and with a growing number of burglaries comes more innovative options.
I haven't heard of any other options before except for the expensive security devices, but if they use a baby monitor, well, maybe that might work.
While homeowners are turning to electric devices for protection, many say they rely on their neighbors to keep an eye out. In Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
We asked you, our viewers, what you use for less expensive security options. A majority of the answers have been dogs and weapons. Coming up after weather, we've got a whistleblower story about a mom who says she was forced to quit her job because she wasn't allowed to pump breast milk while at work. But the owner has a different story. Plus, costume lenses may be the missing piece to your Halloween costume, but a local eye doctor shed some light on the dangers of the decorative lenses. Coming up first, though, Robert, we enjoyed a beautiful sunset tonight. A nice fall send-off before tomorrow's strike of winter.
Yeah, pretty nice night out there. Still pretty quiet, albeit a touch breezy. A live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Traffic moving along nicely. Maybe a different story as we head through this time tomorrow evening. Temperatures have just been slowly falling after topping around 58 today. We're down to 51. Winds out of the south and southeast at around 10 miles per hour. Temperatures elsewhere, a mix of some 40s and some 50s, right at 50 in Jamestown, 41 in Bemidji, 43 Baudette, also 43 in the Wadena area. Winds southerly and southeasterly tonight, and that's how they're going to stay. Now, tomorrow, those winds shift around to the north and northwest. That will bring in some much colder air, and those winds will increase. Could see those winds gusting as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour. A lot of cloudiness out there, and that's what we're going to see as we head through the overnight hours tonight, through the day tomorrow, right on into Friday. Late Friday, though, we should start to see a bit of sunshine. A little bit of activity showing up on the radar, and a lot of that not reaching the ground, but can't rule out some isolated sprinkles overnight tonight, primarily in the northern portions of the valley. Northern plains quiet, but activity off to our north and the northwest. That storm will slide off towards the southeast and impact our area as we head through the day Thursday and early Friday. We'll show that to you in the hour-by-hour forecast. Southerly winds continue tonight. Then the activity starts to make its way across the border, first in the form of rain, but on the backside of that system, quickly changing over to snow. So you have rain for a brief period. It quickly changes over to snow. A lot of wind. Those winds, again, gusting as high as 50 to perhaps 60 miles per hour. Temperatures plummeting as we head through tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Snowfall amounts, not huge amounts, but the wind is going to make it a big problem. Visibilities will be drastically reduced as the snow falls. These numbers not set in stone. We could see lesser amounts in this area. We could see higher amounts in this area. This may shift either north or south, so keep it tuned to the latest forecast. Suffice it to say, we're going to see some accumulating snow across the area, and those winds will make it very tricky in terms of travel later in the day. Winter storm watch continues for Thursday on into Friday. High wind warning in the areas that will see the lesser amounts of snow. High wind watch in northeastern South Dakota. For us here in Fargo, we'll start off with cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-40s. Then we'll start to see a rain, maybe a rain-snow mix by your lunch hour. And later on today, that rain changes over to snow to become very windy. Temperatures in the upper 30s, wind chills in the teens and 20s. Picture of the day, sunset silhouette in Hankinson. Thanks so much to Barbara for sending that in. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast. And again, tomorrow, rain changing to snow, very windy. Some morning snow possible, especially in our eastern counties on Friday. Quiet over the weekend. A few more snow showers possible Monday. And again on Halloween. Is this going to be the biggest snowstorm we've ever seen? Well, no, but it will likely impact travel in many locations late tomorrow into tomorrow night.
It's always important to remember those safety rules when you're driving. Everybody kind of freaks out when they're first seeing that first snowfall.
And with temperatures falling tomorrow, keep in mind that those bridges and overpasses will freeze first and then the roadways later on in the evening.
Good to know. Thanks, Robert.
You got it.
Well, let's say you want to be a cat for Halloween, or maybe your favorite villain. Decorative or costume contact lenses can make your costume complete, but not so fast. I spoke with a local optometrist who says you could do serious, if not permanent, damage to your vision.
I've seen ulcers, I've seen severely red eyes, and I've seen reports on the internet of people losing vision because of that.
It's no trick when buying costume contact lenses. Dr. Dan Levine cautions anyone looking to make a quick buy to reconsider.
Why would you take your eyes and want the cheapest contacts there are?
Just browsing the internet, Dr. Levine was baffled to see what some sites were selling.
I think you're taking a chance with your eyes. I mean, what sense is more important than that? And you want to take a risk on buying the cheapest contacts that you can that are not FDA approved. I just don't think that makes any sense.
So if you're going to a party, even just for a few hours, it may not be the best idea.
4 hours of the front surface of your eye, the cornea, being deprived of oxygen can cause quite a bit of damage in a short amount of time.
Here's what you can do to better prepare for next year. According to the FDA, get an eye exam to make sure the contact lenses fit properly. Then get a prescription. Be sure to follow the contact lens care instructions. Any redness, pain, and discharge from the eyes are all signs of an eye infection. So remove the lenses and see an eye doctor right away. There are many websites that claim they are FDA approved, but be cautious. If your heart is so set to buy lenses for the ghoulish holiday, bad news, it might be too late.
It's a process. People tend to wait till a week before Halloween and they want a specialty contact lens. That's not going to work. You have to kind of prepare in advance for it.
We stopped by Spirit Halloween Shop in Fargo. An employee tells us that they do not carry the contact lenses per the FDA's request. But if you're still set on buying a pair before Halloween, the FDA has links to reputable online sites. We've attached that to this story at valleynewslive.com. A whistleblower claims her employer was breaking federal laws by not allowing her to pump breast milk while on the job. But the business owner says it's just a smear campaign, so we investigated. The former employee said she had to quit Popolino's Pizza because of the issue. But the business owner says that's untrue, adding she's only bitter because they didn't hire her husband. So we looked into the laws, and employers do have to provide reasonable time and a private area for new mothers who need to breast milk.
And so again, it's that conversation, it's that education to make sure that everybody is receiving the same message and understands exactly what the law is and what support needs to be provided.
For our full investigation, head over to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. And if you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, call us at 701-237-6576 and then leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. The owner of Studs to Rugs in Fargo could possibly face criminal charges following an abrupt closure. The Attorney General's office says they are investigating after multiple people paid the company, but say they never got any work done. So far, that total is nearly $250,000. A couple local contractors are stepping up, offering deals for those families who say they were left high and dry.
I've been on the other side of the situation before as well, and I know how it feels. And me being a contractor, I'd certainly like to get people back on track and get their projects finished up and feel better about it.
The Attorney General's office says they believe the owner took money from customers knowing he couldn't or wouldn't get the work done, which is illegal. We called the owner, Tim Rosine, but have not heard back yet. Confessed deserter Bo Bergdahl still doesn't know what his sentence will be, partly because his military judge hasn't decided whether it matters what President Trump has said about Bergdahl in the past. The 31-year-old spent 5 years as a Taliban prisoner and now faces up to life behind bars. Bergdahl's sentencing hearing resumes tomorrow morning at 9, at which time the Army judge could announce his decision on whether to dismiss the case because of President Trump's past comments. As Commander-in-Chief, President's reference to previous comments calling Bergdahl a, quote, traitor could be seen as unlawful command influence over the military proceedings. And Senate Republicans are killing an Obama-era rule that made it easier to bring class action lawsuits against banks and credit card companies. Vice President Mike Pence cast a deciding vote last night to break a 50-50 tie. Wiping out the rule affects tens of millions of Americans who often don't know that they are covered by an arbitration clause when they sign up for a credit card or a checking account. Banks and credit card companies use such clauses to avoid bringing a dispute to court. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau wanted to bar companies from using clauses like those. Xcel Energy is adding to its wind power. The utility company is partnering with Wanzak Construction of West Fargo to build a wind farm in Dickey County and then another one in Iowa, with some turbines located in Minnesota. Construction of the Foxtail Wind Farm in Dickey County is planned for 2018. The Freeborn Wind Farm, mainly in Iowa, will begin construction in 2020. The 175 wind turbines together will deliver 350 megawatts of power. Xcel Energy hopes to build and acquire 1,850 megawatts of new wind energy in the upper Midwest by 2022. Still ahead tonight, West Fargo is welcoming a new group of veterans coming together to honor their fellow Marines.